Self Creation Podcast. And welcome everybody, it's Dan, hope you're well today, and welcome to Marketing Sales Show. We're going to talk about sales today because a business doesn't happen unless it's got some sales, of course, and if it's got some sales, then it has all the opportunity to grow. But if it hasn't got sales, it's going to really struggle to grow. So let me just double check that we're live, and yes we are, so that's fine. So let's talk about how you're going to sell more. So leads at the top of a funnel, and this is where, you know, it's really interesting, I think, because I've worked in sales for a number of years. I worked for Dell, and I remember working for a smaller company up in Wetherby, and one of the difficulties that we always had was when we'd pick up the phone and we'd phone someone up and we'd go, yeah, it's Dan, I'm calling from such and such company, and they'd go, who? What? Never heard of you, right? And so that was really challenging. And then when I got a job at Dell, I'd phone them up and go, yeah, it's Dan, I'm calling from Dell. And they'd go, yeah, brilliant. I get straight through. MD, Rolls-Royce, Asda, British Nuclear Fuels, get through to the IT department, get through to all the directors, not a problem at all because it's Dell, right? And so this for me was like, you know, if looking back, if we'd have known how personal branding worked, if we'd have realised how personal branding worked and what was coming with social media, we would have ploughed further into personal branding. We did do some of that, you know, when we worked at Dell and when we first started up in business. You have to work on the branding, but it's really, really important. And so when we're talking about feeding leads in at the top of the sales and marketing funnel, what we're really talking about is personal branding and business branding, because it's one and the same. Like, you don't get to sales or you don't get to sell something until you've generated leads and you get into a conversation of some kind. All right, you might have a transactional product. So if you're selling cameras, for example, you don't necessarily need to get someone into a phone call in order to sell a camera. But if you do get someone into a phone call, then they're much more likely to buy from you, okay? Well, this is more of a transactional purchase because most people will get into that conversation, then they'll go on to Amazon, they buy it for 100 quid cheaper and so on. So that's a little bit more difficult. But you've got to find a way of getting more leads into the top of your sales and marketing funnel. And really, the only way of doing that is through marketing. It doesn't have to be digital marketing, but it has to be marketing of some kind. It could be on the radio, it could be on the TV, it could be in print. Or the chances are it's actually going to be digital marketing of some kind. It's going to be adverts that are going out. It's going to be maybe networking, which is an offline kind of mechanism for generating leads and putting leads at the top of the funnel. But let's face it, if you're watching this or you're listening to this on Amazon or iTunes or whatever, then it's digital. This is the life in which we live these days. It's digital. Do you remember lockdown? Everything was digital. Even eating a pizza, you'd order it. I mean, out of lockdown, everything is digital. You'd order it. Well, you don't eat it digitally, not yet. Those days are coming, I'm sure, with replicators and all of that Star Trek type technology in the next couple of 100 years. I'm sure we'll have those. But for now, everything that we do is digital. You want to go out on a date, you go on to a dating app. You want to book a networking event, you go on to a networking app. You want to meet people and build a network because you're into Star Trek, let's say, and you want to dress as a Klingon on the weekend. Then you join the dress as a Klingon on a weekend group. Everything is digital these days. If you are selling cameras, you're going to go to Amazon. And before you go to Amazon, you're going to read all the reviews about all the different cameras. Then you're going to watch some stuff on YouTube about how to use the camera, which is the best camera for your specific needs. Like, we live in a digital marketplace. Like, that's who we are. It's 2024. We live in a digital world. And so in order to feed leads at the top of your funnel, you have to be on digital media of some kind. And there's only 3 types, by the way. So there's audio, there's visual, and there's reading. There's no other way of people discerning information than listening to it, watching it, or reading it. Like, give me another way. Smoke signals, okay? Watching it. Oh, smoke signals technically reading, right? Braille, reading. YouTube, video. Podcasting, audio. Read a newspaper, reading. Read a book, reading. Read an article on someone's blog, reading, right? And they might convert that into a podcast, or it might have been a podcast that's been converted into reading. There's only 3 ways of doing it. So in order for you to start feeding leads at the top of your funnel, you've got to get out onto those mediums. You've got to write articles that people are going to read. You need to create podcasts that people are going to download and listen to while they're sat on the pot. It happens. We know it happens. I know you've done it. You've got to create video that people are going to watch on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. It doesn't have to be long form video like this. It can be short little videos with your little TikTok dances. Whatever that happens to be. I'm on TikTok. We get on average 750 views per video, and I've not done a single TikTok dance. It's all little short videos off this podcast. But in order to feed leads in at the top of a funnel, you're going to have to get online and get digital. Oh, well, I don't like being on camera. Don't be on camera. Use stock footage, have an overlay, have a voiceover, just do podcasting. You can just write. You can do interviews. We do a lot of interviews with our clients because it's really the easiest way of getting information out of them. But we can then break up into bite-sized chunks. It's a very natural way to speak. By the way, this voice to camera, face to camera is a very unnatural way. I'm literally looking at a camera lens. I can't see any feedback. I don't know if anyone's made any comments or anything like that, although we have got a chat function on our Restream bit of software that we use. But I never look at it, so which I probably should. So you've got to find a way of getting your message out across the medium, whatever that medium is. And the easiest way of doing it, the cheapest way of doing it, is through digital marketing. There's absolutely no question, no shadow of a doubt, that the easiest and cheapest way of doing that is through utilizing all these tools. Like, you're literally listening or watching to me off these tools, right? So we know it works. And then once you start generating some leads, the next step really is to start qualifying them, because not everybody's a lead. You know, I get people booking, really annoys me. I get people booking an appointment with me, right? Allocating 15 minutes in my calendar for them to quote me on SEO. I'm like, dude, we have SEO people in-house. I get website designers booking 15-minute appointments so they can pitch me for their web. I'm like, dude, fuck off. And it's really rude. I find it really rude. So you have to qualify people in or out. Not everybody who looks like a buyer is a buyer. And so when we qualify people in, we get 15-minute strategy sessions. So we book people in, we get them on the phone, we find out what's going on. Hey, dude, what's going on? Why are you on this call? Why are you speaking to us specifically? What problem is it that you need to solve? What problem are you struggling with? What's the solution that you're looking at? Where would you like to be 6 months from now? How would you like that to look? What would like the result look like for you? So we ask all these questions to qualify someone in. Like, do we even want to do business with these people? Are these people idiots? Are they completely not very nice people? So we would then be looking at, do we want to work with them or not? Because we don't work with everybody. We don't want to work with everybody. People have got a brush stuck up their arse and everything has to be perfect and all that kind of thing. Like, there's no such thing as perfection. If that's what you're chasing, we're probably not the right agency for you, right? We don't want that. Everybody makes mistakes, and if you're gonna break our balls over it, is that the right word? Breaking your balls? Yeah, I think so. If you're gonna break our balls over it, then it's probably not for us, right? Like, life's too short for that kind of thing. And you know, we're at the stage where we can actually pick and choose who we want to work with. We want to work with nice people that we like, people we want to go for a pint with, people that when they come over for the retreat that we run here every year, that when they come over, they're really nice. We want to hang out. We want to go paddleboarding with them. We don't want knobheads. So it's to qualify them for, you know, are these the right clients to work with us, but also are these the people we want to work with? So, you know, we want to qualify them. And then once you've qualified them and once they sign up, the next really important bit is, if you want to sell more, you have to deliver. You have to deliver what you've promised. We can't go out and say, we're going to do all this and we're amazing and we're going to do all this and it's going to cost you just a penny, because it's not going to cost just a penny. And life doesn't work like that. You don't just sign up for something and everything just magically falls into place and the next week you're hanging off the back of a yacht. I wish it did, but it doesn't. So we have to set some expectations, obviously, and they have to have realistic expectations of what we can provide. But then also it's down to us to actually deliver. And so I was talking to Graham, who's our number 2. He's the guy who's in charge of delivery, and he's end of month right now. And his end of month is always a nightmare for him because he has to do end of month reports, which basically tells people all the things that we've done for them and what those results have been from all the things that we've done. So we have to go out and deliver. And you should go out and deliver as well, and that should be your focus. Because when you go out and deliver, in fact, just this morning, leads me on to the very next thing. We had a referral from a client who's been with us for probably at least 12 months, I'd say. And we got another referral last week as well. Referrals, this is the thing that's really interesting about our business, right? Is that we go live, we have all these little videos, we go out onto iTunes and Amazon and Spotify with our podcasting, we create a lot of content, we post it all out, we've got email marketing. How many sales do you think we get off all of that? It's very low. Where do you think all our sales come from? Referrals. So we have a referral mechanism in place whereby if you refer someone and they become a client, you get 20% on month one for whatever it happens to be, and then 10% for as long as they're a client. So if it's a website, 800 quid, you make £160. And then if it's digital marketing, it's £1,000, you make 200 quid, and then you make 10% every month. So you make £100 every month for the duration that they're a client. That's a really nice referral scheme, by the way. And we got people making almost the equivalent of a full-time wage just off our referral scheme. How cool is that, by the way? You should sign up for the referral scheme. Go to a website, it's in the top right. Sell our stuff, right? Whatever it's called. So you should have this in your website. And if you don't know how to set up a referral scheme, then obviously speak to us. We can do it. We know how to do it. We've done them for a few clients, including ourselves, who works very well. But the referral mechanism is so important for you to add on to your bag of tools that's going to help you sell more. And without it, you might survive. With it, you're going to get more people pushing your stuff. And if you can get a little army of people selling your stuff, life just gets a heck of a lot easier. All right, I hope you get use out of that. We'll catch up with you on the next one. My name's Dan Latter. Have a great day. Take care. Hey, it's Dan here. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please click like or subscribe to the entire podcast.